Go to that site, you can click on the word Earth to bring up the menu and select HD high def, and then pick mode equals air, animate equals wind, height equals 10 hectopascals. This is at an altitude of approximately 35 kilometers. That's the highest level that the Earth.nullschool gives us. Set overlay to wind and projection to O, and in the image, click and drag the Earth's northern hemisphere down to show the North Pole. Then go over to the control line of the menu and change the date, I think it's the second symbol, to year 2022, month of January, 01, and date 08. If you click on any wind flow, you will see its direction and velocity in the upper left. To close the menu, click on the word Earth, and you can see the whole Earth. Hannes Alfvén said that moving plasma, when it contacts neutral gas, can drag the gas along with it. With that in mind, and using the right-hand rule, point your right thumb in the direction of the axial current, and then your curved fingers will show the direction of the magnetic field and the moving plasma. Doing this, we see that the Birkeland current's central axial current is moving positive charges up and out of the North Pole. If you turn the Earth over by dragging the pole with your mouse, you can see a similar but much weaker current emerging from the South Polar region. The Earth in its orbit is closest to the Sun in January. At that time, its North Pole is pointing away from the Sun. The electric universe model presumes the Sun is charged to a higher voltage than its surroundings, and therefore there will be an electric field radiating outward from it. With those facts in mind, we expected that in January, there might be a strong inward current from the higher voltage neighborhood of the Sun entering the Earth's South Pole and outward at the North Pole, flowing away from the Sun. Similarly, it was thought that in June, there might be a slightly weaker current going into the North Pole and out the South Pole, weaker because we're farther away from the Sun. Nothing even remotely akin to that was observed. That was not seen at all. Well, what was observed? Monthly examinations were made by sampling the earth.nullschool.net website video images over a 5-year time span, June of 2014 through June of 2019. And the important observed results were actually two. The first was during the Northern Hemisphere summer. That's called aphelion. Earth is as farthest from the Sun as it gets. Current enters into both the North and South Poles. The second thing that we observed was that during the Northern Hemisphere winter, that's called perihelion, Earth is closest to the Sun, current is directed out of both the North and South Poles. What should we make of this? How do we interpret it? What's going on? From December through February, the Northern Hemisphere winter, perihelion, Earth is nearest the Sun, and according to electric universe theory, it should be picking up positive charge in this higher voltage region. But we see from our observations that the Birkeland current is directed out of both hemispheres during this time. Earth is just, therefore, losing positive charge via the Birkeland current during this period. Just the opposite of what we might think. 6 months later, a similar surprise awaited us. Earth in its elliptical orbit is farthest from the Sun then at its aphelion, around the 4th of July, and thus at its greatest orbital distance. The Sun's electric field is producing a lower voltage neighborhood there. Therefore, Earth ought to be dumping positive charge out into that lower voltage neighborhood. But if we look at the Nullschool.net site, it's clear that the Birkeland current is dumping positive charge into us. Now, this unexpected behavior of the Sun-Earth BC was observed at every single one of the observed aphelion, perihelion times during the 5 years we observed the site. What could the explanation be for what we observed? After considering this apparent contradiction, we came, after much thought, to the following conclusion. There is no contradiction. There are two different processes going on. One, Earth, when it's closest to the Sun in January, is indeed collecting charge, just as the EU theory says it should. And it does this from all possible directions through the extremely large surface area of Earth's toroidal, that is to say, donut-shaped plasmasphere that completely surrounds the Earth. The charges come from positive charged interplanetary plasma through which the Earth is moving. And two, but during this same time, we've observed that the Birkeland current stream that directly connects the Sun to Earth's poles is removing positive charges from Earth. The Birkeland current is acting like a pipeline that carries charge directly out of two comparatively small cusps in Earth's magnetosphere near its poles, back towards the outer coronal region of the Sun. So both these processes are going on simultaneously. Therefore, this newly discovered Birkeland current mechanism apparently works to stabilize Earth's net charge over the course of the year. It's a natural compensating negative feedback mechanism which tends to neutralize or at least minimize any seasonal variation in Earth's net charge. The Birkeland current supplies positive charge when Earth is losing it from its surrounding plasma because it's passing through the low voltage region. And then the Birkeland current removes the excess charge Earth is taking on while it's passing through the Sun's high voltage region and is collecting charge. This counterflow of charge